Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it that for a second.
I'm going to leave it at that for a second. Whoa. What's up, universe? This is Game Called Life. Coming at you live right here, twitch.tv/Game Called Life. We're going to hit you today with a special E3 2016 recap. All of the conferences has happened, and so we are going to
Conference
come.
I.
There you go. We're going to come at you with all the recaps of what went down in case you were unable to watch or haven't read the news. We're going to compile everything right here for something for you all to listen to. As you may know, Game Called Life, we are three best friends from Oklahoma. We sit around this table every week, every other week, more times than not, to talk about games and talk about life. This week, like I said, we're coming at you with an E3 2016 recap. I am always one of your hosts. I'm Josh Bergolari, the man on my left. He used to not be funny, but now he is. He's Cole Penrice. And the man on my right is the infamous and the unforgettable, the Mr. Zach Pittman. I brought back the Mr. It's been a while.
I love being a mister.
Oh, as you may or may not know, you can catch us all over the internet, not just here on Twitch. You can find us on Twitter. Just above me is our Twitter handle, is at GCL Podcast. That's the best place to figure out what's happening, when it's happening, and where it's happening at. So you can follow all of our shenanigans and do-goodings. You can also find each one of us individually at our Twitter pages down below. You can see those. Not only, don't forget GCLpodcast.com, and also iTunes and Stitcher, and sometimes YouTube. Just search GCL Podcast. So without further ado,
Drink of the day. I'm drinking a vodka straight, and Josh's got a gin on the rocks. And that's drink of the day.
And
Oh,
this
wait.
used to be
He's got a cup.
something. I don't know. I just blindly pick my drink sometimes.
Did you do the suicide where you just go all the way across?
so I'm
I close
having
my eyes.
a water on the rocks,
Wow.
but the rocks are melted.
The rocks are gone, yeah. Yeah, we're actually drinking water.
You got a water offshore.
Yeah.
10.
Uh,
Your water's
wait,
pretty
I have
good.
water.
8.5.
I'm giving it a solid 10.
If it
8.5,
had
okay.
flavor, I'd be more keen to
Really?
the water.
Water can't
It's
have
water
flavors.
flavor.
Water's okay.
It's water
I'll
flavor.
give it a 9.5.
Yeah.
I've had
$10.
bet- I've had-
$10.
I've had better water.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like what's your favorite water?
I don't know where this was, but I went to a restaurant one time and they like poured the water out of like these glass, like bottles, like these big old glass bottles that were sitting on the table. Damn, that was some good water.
Oh, they do that at the tavern downtown.
Oh yeah,
It's really good there.
that's rad.
And at Te Amo,
Yeah.
Italian restaurant, they do that there
Nice.
too.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know, some places have some pretty on point water.
The pH like
It has
crests.
been when I went to Bodine. I think
Bodine's fish.
their water was pretty. Yeah, their water was pretty spot on. Anyway,
It's like
enough about
51st.
water and drink of the day. Let's get
Hey,
into
water's good.
E3 2016 recap. That's what we're here for. There's a lot to talk about, so we don't want to take up our whole day and your whole day talking about it. So let's jump right into it. I want to preface by giving actually a big shout out to the website geeksleeprinserepeat.com. Geek Sleep Rinse Repeat. Awesome website. I think based over in UK. 'Cause some of their times were and spellings are extra U's and middle of the night times, whereas the conferences were happening in the middle of the day here in the US. So big shout out to Geek Sleep Rinse Repeat for compiling a really nice conference summary. So that's what we're going to be using and making it available to your eardrums in case you can't read or just don't like to. So Sunday kicked off, just this past Sunday, kicked off with what is it? EA's press conference. A lot of big things, a lot of really things I'm interested for. Started off with Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
I didn't ever play Titanfall 1, honestly. I never got a chance to
That's because it
Get
was
into it.
only available on Xbox
Yeah.
and PC. So the big thing about Titanfall 2, I'm glad you brought that up, Zach, is it is going to be on all platforms.
So I
So-
probably would have gotten around to trying it if
Yeah.
it was. I just didn't know anybody with the Xbox One that had it really.
Same thing. It looked super interesting, looked very fun, and just really different. And so I'm really excited for Titanfall 2 coming to PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Biggest thing about Titanfall 2 as well, not only on all platforms, but it has a single player campaign, whereas the Titanfall 1 was only the online multiplayer. So the trailers for those look great. If you go to geeksleeprinserepeat.com, you can find all the trailers inside their summary. So if you want to watch all the trailers compiled there, you can always just look on YouTube, I'm sure. Titanfall 2 single player campaign looks pretty legit. The cool thing I thought about that is the Titans actually have
like a personality. Almost.
Yeah,
It's
like they are
a sense of duty
a
and
smart
AI, basically.
Yeah.
It's
like they are an entity that is like, I understand my protocol is to, morph or whatever, join with the pilot and like save the pilot and protect the pilot. Like really, really cool. Awesome moments in those trailers.
oh yeah.
So I'm excited for Titanfall 2.
I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Next up, EA showed Mass Effect Andromeda. Anyone here have anything to say about Mass Effect?
I didn't watch that. I've only played Mass Effect 2. I had Mass Effect 1, but I didn't get to play it.
Haven't played a Mass Effect game.
Yeah,
No.
I never have. I'm really interested in doing so though. I want to try to get like a PC like combo,
Yeah.
super cheap to get ready, because Andromeda looks awesome. Like just that world of Mass Effect has always really intrigued me. And this new one, they're going to, out of our solar system here and going to the Andromeda galaxy.
Mm.
It's kind of starting a new, I guess spoilers. I don't really know what happens at the end of 3, but I feel like just everything goes and just is done. So they're
Yeah.
kind of starting fresh in Andromeda. So looks beautiful, of course. Just amazing space, great graphics. Seems to be really cool gameplay. And of course the just the depth and the that you're used to with Mass Effect. So trying to look for release dates. I forget. Oh, so background for Titanfall 2, that'll launch on October 28th of this year. Let's see. Don't see any release date for Mass Effect Andromeda. I think that's still TBD. Zach, this is a big one for you, man. FIFA 17.
FIFA 17. They got new people coming in and like redoing it, like mechanically. What was the? Man, I can't think of. What was the developing team?
Was it Frostbite?
Yes, it was. I was thinking something with snow in it. I was like, can't think of it.
Oh,
Snowday.
Frostbite being the engine that they're using.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're changing that up, so that'll make it different on its own right. But they're also bringing in a new story mode called the Journey, and you're basically taking a kid through the British Premier League and like watching him progress into a player. I think it's gonna be interesting and like something different to do in a FIFA. That's not really ever been an option. It's always just been like play the game, but now there's like instead of like just managing a team where you don't like have any kind of interaction or just like
you don't get to like really
like,
bathe in
know
like the
the players.
accomplishments.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're just like, like I feel really good because I got this person to this point. Like
Exactly.
It really feels like you did something.
more of like an accomplishing story mode than
Yeah.
like a sports based game.
You get to live like vicariously through
Yeah.
that character.
I think it'll be interesting nonetheless.
They should have. They should make it where like it's not just games. Like you actually get to like do third person, like show up at like parties and signings and stuff.
Like mix it with GTA.
Well,
Yeah,
it looks like
and then
it
you run into your
had-
rival and you're like, I'm running these graphs.
It looks like it had like animated like cutscenes and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think there's actually like story involved that you get to experience and watch.
I hope so. I hope it's not just cutscenes though.
Probably
Like
is.
interaction
Probably is,
cutscenes would be. I
Yeah,
think
that would
those
be tight.
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
like
just-
decision making
Yeah.
type events. Maybe.
Yeah. I think that would be a huge step for, yearly sports games in general, because I don't know of any other game that does that.
I'm thinking of it like Tony Hawk's Underground kind of style, like where you like come up out of like nothing kind of, and then like progress and become like a pro.
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
So moving right along after the FIFA and all that jazz, they released a new IP. Now I'm not sure if it's Fee or Fey,
Or Iron.
but it's FE. Yeah, Iron. It's a really interesting I get like a Limbo-esque kind of feel from it. Just because it is a darker, kind of very shadowy world, very purple, blue, dark blues and blacks. Everything does look kind of metallic, very sharp art style. So it was very interesting, kind of an adventure. You're this little like fox type thing, and you have to interact with the world, and you get like you can interact with other beings in the world, and I guess you help them kind of progress you. Like I saw them like riding on like this stingray that can fly in the air like back. You gave this like big monster something, I guess something you have to collect in the world to bash like on these bad guys in the world. So not sure what the story is behind that, but it looks really interesting. Fun little new IP there. Then EA gave us a good look into a lot that's actually in production with Star Wars right now. Ongoing projects and new things. We know Respawn and Visceral are working on new Star Wars. They touched a little bit on like new Battlefront, what's coming to Battlefront currently, and even the new Battlefront that is to be expected. I think 2018.
Yeah.
And then let's see here, what else they talk about. They talked about the Heroes. Galactic Heroes, the iOS and Android mobile game, adding new stuff to that, which is actually a game I kind of dabble in a little bit. It's pretty fun, turn-based little team
Just a
fighter kind of thing. Yeah.
That's funny. I was going through some of my apps today, and I actually deleted that today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't play that.
I barely touch on it, but it's still an interesting little game. They also talked about the Old Republic, which is the MMO that still exists, and just kind of how they're expanding stories and adding to that. So a lot of stuff happening in the Star Wars universe, especially with all these movies and everything coming out.
Yeah, no kidding. That's going to be ramped up here soon. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Visceral game that Amy, I think it's Visceral, the one that Amy Henning, that was formerly of Naughty Dog, left to go write basically the story. being the writer of I think the original Uncharted, maybe 2 and 3, but yeah, she was a writer of a couple, if not all of those Uncharted games, before Neil and Bruce took over for 4. So I'm excited to see what that story game, Star Wars game has to offer. And then EA closed out with Battlefield 1, which a lot of you might have already seen a lot of Battlefield. It's the same trailer that you've probably seen already, nothing new, unfortunately, there. Little disappointing, but still hype train, because World War I actually looks really interesting and really fun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I haven't seen like a new like post like modern technology game, you know? Like,
yeah, I mean, everything was in World War II for so long. I think even turning it back, because World War II, you had the more like fighter jets and stuff like that. In World War I, we're dealing with like biplane fighter jets.
some people are still riding horses in World War I.
Horses and sword gameplay, like the kind of like Arabian looking.
Yeah.
We see just a very little bit of that gameplay. The
2
old
seconds
school,
at the very end.
yeah, the old school tanks, the blimps and stuff like that. Like, really, really, really interesting. I'm excited for that just because it's so different. Which, just speaking of, like, Call of Duty is on the exact opposite spectrum of that, with a hyper futuristic space, like
Insanely futuristic.
Oh,
I do.
really cool.
Speaking of Call of Duty, though, I am excited for the COD 4 reboot. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that, and I'm actually excited for Infinite now. Just probably never will play the multiplayer, but
I
story,
don't think I can do that.
Dude, that trailer
If
that
it's
they
all in
showed,
space,
which was actually in the PlayStation, which we'll kind of get to that, but looked really cool.
Oh, man.
Really, really cool. But anyway, moving along to wrap up Sunday E3 conferences is Bethesda. So Bethesda, obviously, a lot of Fallout, Elder Scrolls with, was Quake Champions. So Quake, the old PC shooter, is coming back. So Quake Champions, it's going to be Still PC only, looks like. But I'm not sure if it was like a cinematic trailer. Probably. I'm sure it's not in engine, but looks really beautiful. Looks pretty cool. Very interesting. So any big fans of Quake can be really excited for that. Next, they touched on an Elder Scrolls game for Android, iOS, PC, and Mac. It's called Elder Scrolls Legend. I tried watching the trailer and I couldn't get into it. I was like, okay, I'm super bored. Bye. Because it was like the campaign intro cinematic, and it wasn't. It was just kind of some story stuff that I had no context for and I did not care about. So, not sure what that game's even going to be like. So there's that.
Let me say, I finally got the levels pretty good.
Yeah.
The last time we had it set on like 300 offset. Guess what it is now?
300.
No.
275.
Way off.
100.
2000.
2100.
Shite.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I feel like it changes constantly.
It's still changing. Yeah, you're right.
It's ridiculous.
I'm done. So sorry about the offset, but
yeah. Well, that's weird. Thanks, OBS. You still suck.
Don't watch us. Just listen. We'll cover our mouths the whole time.
But moving right along with Bethesda.
Yeah.
They're rebooting Prey.
Prey. I didn't know that was going to be a reboot. I didn't know it was an original game, I guess.
Prey, if I'm not mistaken, came out with like a launch with the 360.
Really?
If I'm thinking of the right game. And it wasn't very good. And they're supposed to have a Prey 2, but they scrapped that and it was like, all right, we're just scrapping everything. We're starting over Prey. So it looked
the reboot, yeah.
Looked weird. Not can't say something I'm excited for. Big news though about Doom, which just recently came out from Bethesda. They are getting regular free updates.
Nice.
And also paid DLC. So more content
Nice.
for Doom if you're a big Doom fan.
Can't be mad about DLC.
Yeah, cannot be mad about DLC.
Unless it's skins and okay, I'll pay a little bit of money for like aesthetic stuff. But
Yeah. We all know you will. I do as well sometimes. Nicole, this is something you'll be excited about.
Hey. What is it? Oof. So Fallout 4, if you're a Fallout 4 player out there, it's getting 3 DLC packs monthly.
Wait,
starting
3
this
monthly?
month.
Wow.
3 coming monthly. I don't know if that's once a month.
I think in the coming months they have these updates.
One per.
So
one per
one
month,
I think is already available, which is the like machines, or what is it?
Contraptions.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, contraptions.
Oh.
So like elevators, armor racks, things like that. You can make tracks.
Ooh.
And then the next one is Vault Tech. So you can actually create your own vault,
Ooh.
which I thought was pretty intense.
That's legit.
So you take crap and then you clear out these spaces underground. You build your own vault. You invite people in. So I thought that was really interesting.
That's amazing. Experiment on dwellers.
Yeah. So that kind of reminiscent of
Fallout Shelter.
the Fallout Shelter, yeah.
That's what I got.
And then the last one, I think is, what is it? Nuka World or Nuka Cola World Nuka World.
Is that like a amusement park?
Something, yeah.
Like a Zoo Tycoon
Wasteland
mini
Vacation.
game.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh, Fallout 4, just an amazing game, and then just expanded it to.
Yeah. So not only do you get the DLC and stuff that's come out, but you can also get these new packs, so you can do even more inside that world, which I think is pretty cool. Not only that, but Fallout Shelter is getting an big update to add quests and things like that, make it a little bit more in depth. And it's also getting a PC version.
Ooh.
So yeah, you
interesting.
can play it on PC on a bigger screen and then do all that kind of stuff. So that seems really interesting. I might hop back into that because not even being a Fallout fan per se, I did enjoy Fallout Shelter. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is with Fallout Shelter, I'll say real quick, is that I put it down for a while, and whenever I got back in it, I immediately got attacked as soon as I logged in, and I was like, shoot, what do I do? What's going on? And I was like, well, I literally lost all my people.
What a great way to come back.
Right, and I was like, well, I'll worry about this for the future. This is a problem for future Cole.
Next time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was like, seriously?
But the biggest, well, I say maybe biggest thing, but a nice little surprise is something that everyone had been wanting and hoping and asking for so long was a Skyrim remaster, and it's coming.
Oh, yes.
Coming PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Ooh.
Fully updated visuals. A lot of the mods that you might see out there for PC, they're like really basically just integrating into this upgraded, better snow textures, better water, and wind, like just effects. All the foliage and everything just looks really, really nice. Really better lighting effects. So your spells and stuff like that are going to look really nice. And then also, in addition to just flat out better graphics, mod support for console.
Oh.
Oof.
Xbox One and
Very
PS4.
nice.
I like that a lot.
So you
That's
can go
really
into
cool.
like the menu and hit mods, and you can add different things there. Whether to make things goofy, better to play, maybe try to up the visuals even more, or just add in different skins and stylistic
how you
kind of
like.
stuff. So
I like that a lot. I
that's
think
really
nice.
really exciting. And one little cool thing for PC players is if you do own Skyrim and either the special edition or Skyrim Plus, all the DLC packs, you get a free upgrade to the remaster.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
How's
suck
that
on
do?
that, console players. And let's see here. They talked a little bit about Elder Scrolls Online, some updates going global, launch in Japan, things like that. Then they did touch on a little bit. Bethesda talked about VR, so they're working on a Doom and a Fallout VR experience
Ooh.
for Vive, set to release sometime in 2017.
Hmm.
So probably just unique experiences apart from the main game in those.
Just kind of set in those worlds.
Yeah, as we kind of see, the more VR stuff that we're seeing, that's kind of how the way is going. It's like, let's take this IP and just make a small little experience
Mm-hmm.
for that, immerse you in that world just a little bit. And then they closed out with Dishonored 2, which I know a friend of the podcast, Sam Guernsey,
Will be stoked
will be
about.
very, very excited about, because he cannot stop talking about Dishonored, even though that game came out forever ago. So Dishonored 2 looks pretty cool. During the conference, I didn't get to see live, but a lot of people said like it really slowed things down. It's hard to show like a sneaky shooter, like the stealth game that Dishonored is kind of at its core.
Sounds like more of an opening title,
Mhm.
if that's the approach they're going to take.
Yeah, so it still nonetheless looked really good and looked really cool. So I'm interested in hopping into Dishonored 2 because of the high praise I know Sam gives it.
I
The original.
still haven't played the original.
I haven't either. I may not. I may. We'll see what happens.
I think I played the first 12 minutes or so of the original.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think
it's not really for me.
yeah, I think I played the same. I was like,
I'll
okay,
say-
this is like the prologue story.
Mm,
Didn't really get into the deep stuff.
yeah. If it is too stealthy and sneaky, then it may not be a game I enjoy too much. I don't really have
Oh,
the patience for that
Yeah,
anymore.
if I don't, that's the same way I am. I'm like, all right, maybe I can't do this. Let's brute force it.
Yeah.
And then you can't do that either. I was like, all right.
How about some Rocket League?
Let's go to a game where I can't lose.
So that closes out Sunday. So starting on Monday, we got the big ones that a lot of people look forward to is the Microsoft. So obviously Microsoft, Sony, and kind of Nintendo are all in this big fight for supremacy. So Microsoft actually had a really, really solid conference. This is one I actually got to watch after the fact. But they had great pacing, a lot of high energy, I think really good titles. They announced a title that, maybe I wasn't too interested in. They came back with something that is more overarching and be like, oh, everyone is excited about this. So they start off with Xbox One S, which is a slim version of the Xbox One. A few updates. The power brick is actually inside of it.
Yep.
So congrats.
Ooh,
Finally
nice.
figured it out.
are they? Do you think the next one will be the Xbox One S Plus?
That's what I was thinking.
That's
Then
funny.
it's like
No,
Apple,
the original
Apple,
was the S
Microsoft
Plus
merger.
version.
Original was the
It
S
is
Plus.
40% smaller than the one.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, that has got to be
so
nice.
small
Yeah.
compared to the original.
It's about the size
And-
of the Wii U now.
What's the price
Hmm.
point? Was it $299?
$299.
Not bad at all.
Yep.
Insane.
Starts at $299, so really great. But I'm like, oh man, that might get me to buy an Xbox.
But then
But
Yeah.
as the conference continued, everything. If you watch the actual trailers, it is what's the phrase? It's exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yeah.
Everything, Xbox One and Windows 10. I'm like, oh, well, I have a PC that I'm gaming on now. Looks like I never need to buy an Xbox again.
right?
So thank you, Microsoft, for that. Still exciting nonetheless of the new console, and we'll actually end off the end of the conference with a pretty big announcement. So they started Gears of War 4. Looks cool. Looks like a Gears of War. Just
Go
better
in,
graphics.
shoot 'em up.
a lot of shooting,
Take
a lot
cover.
of cover taking. Yeah. So
Soda can silencers.
I
Oh wait, that's Army of Two.
I played, I think, a little bit of a Gears of War in the past with one of my friends, just kind of co-oping it. They did
Yeah.
also announce a Elite wireless controller. That's Gears of War
Oh,
4
that is
limited
pretty.
edition. So it looks pretty sick. A cool red, like blood stain, some scratches. It looks pretty intense. So if you're a big Gears fan, you're needing an Elite controller, go check out that special edition. Next, they talked about Killer Instinct. Not something I'm really interested about. It's just a fighting game on Xbox. So
Yeah, we don't need those up in here.
I'm not a fighting fan, so no one cares.
I'm not really either.
Big one though, that got actually me pretty excited was Forza Horizon 3. Now, generally, I wouldn't be excited about any of these because I don't own an Xbox, but because it's also going to be on Windows 10,
You can now be excited.
I get to actually be excited about a Forza game because the Forza games look
Fucking insane.
amazing and they drive really well. It's not, they're kind of sim, but they're kind of not.
Yeah.
Like,
The physics in those games are like fine tuned every year.
yeah, like I remember playing the original Forza on my OG Xbox,
Oh,
and it was
jeez.
so fun. Just getting to mod your car and like do all the decals and stuff. Like just it was really great experience. I'm so excited to hop back into the Forza franchise come September 27th. So
Damn.
that's what I'm excited for, getting racing games. I've kind of been on a racing game kick lately. Gotten a couple of dirt games, dirt cheap, on on Steam recently. So I'm like, oh man, these like off-road rally like dirt games are really fun, and they add in like Gymkhana stuff and things like that. Anyway, that's a topic for Weeks in Review next week. Let's see. Announced a new game, Recore. Looks interesting. You are this person, apparently you have all these kind of like little robotic friends that help you achieve things in the world. They all have kind of different purposes, and you have to, like, I guess, discover these cores to help them run, stuff like that. So cool little new IP. They did show off then some Final Fantasy 15 after that, and it was aight. Did you guys watch this trailer?
I didn't watch this trailer.
I don't even know.
I
if
assume it's
you
kind of
guys-
like watching another Final Fantasy trailer.
It's it was
It looks really
kind
pretty, and then you're like, man, I probably will never play that. Though.
honestly thought it was kind of a bad trailer.
Really?
Because they were fighting this gigantic, just enormous like boss, and they were just like dodging its hands and like slashing at its fingers and stuff. I'm like, what's even happening right now? Like, did not look. That's not the way to get non-Final Fantasy fans into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So, some of you might be excited by that if you know what the heck is going on. Myself, no idea. More Battlefield 1 at Microsoft. Love to throw that Microsoft symbol in there to try to get that kind of mindset, like, you know, Destiny and PS4 kind of. That's what people think of. So, still the same trailer there. Big thing I think is really cool and makes me wish I didn't already have an Xbox One controller is the Xbox Design Lab. You can create custom colored Xbox One controllers.
They've been needing to do that for so long. I
It's
don't know
such
why.
a great idea. Such a great idea.
I assume you just go online and
So I actually
Customize
played
all the
around with
colors.
it, like, and it's really intuitive if you've ever like customized a car online, which I know I do a lot, or like when Nike had their custom shoes and Converse. I know all these places you can like customize your shoes and stuff like that. It's a lot like that. It it's really, you get the 3D look. It's really intuitive. I mean, you can customize the face. You can customize the D-pad, the thumbsticks, the buttons, the triggers, even the back of it. And you can also customize the ABXY and the start menu buttons, whatever those are.
Oh, cool.
So you can get like the traditional colors, or you can get like the white and gray, or you can get a gray and black, or a white and black, and lots of really cool, fun colors there. So I made a few and saved them, just because I
Just
had
in
to.
case.
I had to. I made a GCL colored one. I made a
Oh, nice.
like a gray and purple, because that's kind of like my thing and my theme on my Twitch. And then I made like a purple and pink one, like Alyssa style. Just
Nice.
because I can hope and dream. Right? But yeah,
Someday.
really, really fun.
She's like, Josh, I bought this Xbox today. You're like,
I bought you a controller 6 months ago.
No, I really want to get like another monitor though for my PC, so we can like play like Rocket League and stuff like that. Dual screen though, not split screen. Anyway, dreams. Then, really cool part. Wait. Oh yeah. This is something that I actually showed you guys that you can kind of actually talk about. We Happy Few.
That it actually looks really interesting.
that looks like a super interesting universe.
Yeah.
It
makes me want to like see more of it. I don't even necessarily want to play it. I just want to like watch somebody else play it to like understand what's going on.
Yeah. I feel like it I don't know. I like those universes that you can't really relate to by hardly any means, because it's just so unique and so creative, so imaginative that it's like they have like a whole separate universe to expand on.
Right.
They just get a lot of freedom, and that is a really cool kind of setup for what that universe actually is.
I've never really like thought of like playing a game like that, or like even I don't know. It's just a really interesting new idea that I think could be looks like it's been implemented pretty well. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more about it.
Yeah, I like the background and like the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys said, but I really get the BioShock feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like even the aesthetic of the world, not necessarily even the idea of that kind of
Post
like
yeah.
quote unquote utopia,
Yeah.
where like it seems like a perfect world, but things are really not perfect.
Right.
But just the art style of it looked like BioShock as well. And BioShock, I always thought was really interesting, the story in the world, but it always seemed very scary because it's very dark and you get a lot of weird things. And so I could never really play BioShock. I'm excited for this because I hope it's along the same vein, and it looks like a much nicer, I think,
Much
atmosphere.
easier dose of horror.
Yeah, just a better atmosphere. So me, Weenie Josh, is not as scared. Heads up, any of you Witcher fans out there, you and Ace at Gwent in their tavern, well, you'd be happy because Gwent
I thought you were reading that somewhere.
No, Gwent, it sounded pretty dumb, didn't it? Gwent is coming as a full-fledged game. So watch out, Hearthstone.
Right?
Maybe.
I enjoy Hearthstone more. Gwent's it's simple. It's got a different kind of strategy to it. Because it's a game, to kind of preface, it's a game where you start with like 10 cards or so. And for the entire game, that's how many you have. So you basically have...
Oh, so you always have 10 in your hand?
Well, no, you have 10 to work with. Whenever you run out of cards, then that's it. And it's a game of, you have 3 rows per side. Certain cards can go in certain rows. And it's a game of total power per round. So like... You add up all the power levels of the cards, compare it to your opponent, and then you get the option eventually to pass the round if you think you might have a strong enough field.
Yeah.
The difference of the 3 separate rows are that there are different like environmental cards which knock the power of each card to 1 instead of 10 or whatever, 7 in the corresponding row.
Gotcha.
So like you have close combat, you have range, and then you have siege.
Interesting.
So, a lot of different environmental cards. I think it really does have a lot to expand on, so I really hope that they take advantage of that.
Yeah. I know they said they're going to add like a few new mechanics and expand upon ones that they already have. I really hope it's a free to play like Hearthstone, because that would be something I would definitely try out.
Mhm.
Not played Witcher, I have no idea really what Gwent is besides what I saw in the trailer and what you just told me. And they were saying, some games you intentionally lose so that you can then, take, or some rounds you intentionally lose so that you can take the match in the next round. Really have a strong play or something like that. So I was like, it's really interesting, the mindset, the different mechanics and the play style in Gwent. So they didn't announce any sort of I don't think not that I can see that they announced any sort of release. Let's see, Xbox One and PC is going to get an exclusive beta. So we'll see what happens then. I really, really hope that is a free to play, because that is something I will definitely try out. Then we got to look at Tekken 7. Again, don't care about fighting games, so I didn't even watch that when I was watching the conference. I was probably making my Xbox One controller at that point in time. Dead Rising 4. There's another
They're on
one.
4 now. I thought there was only 2.
Nope. They made a third and no one cared apparently. And so now they're making 4. And
Care about me.
what's his face is back. That's the guy from the original one.
Sarah.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, that guy. So Dead Rising 4 looks really fun. And I mean, it's, again, you're just slaughtering zombies after zombies after zombies.
I saw something on Twitter that you posted, and I couldn't agree more with it about zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that wasn't even in relation to this. This was actually about a PlayStation game
Yeah.
that was shown. But yeah, I'm just tired of zombies. Like
I've been tired
out.
of zombies for a long time.
I don't know.
I rewatched Zombieland last night. They need to make a sequel to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. It's a good movie. I don't mind that, but like zombies in video games, I feel like is just.
It's like super stereotypical now.
Yeah,
It feels
it's
like
almost
it's gonna
overplayed.
happen. Like they're gonna come out eventually.
Yeah.
No
Well.
matter what game you're playing, it's like we're playing Need for Speed, and then suddenly you're driving zombie car, and you're like, hold on.
There's a zombie in the seat next to you. You're like, wait, when did you become my co-pilot?
Then you turn off your system immediately, and you walk outside, and you're like, why have you done this to us?
But Dead Rising 4 is fun. I mean, it is intentionally over the top with zombies. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully I know someone that has that so I can go play that, because I probably won't pay money. But I really enjoyed the first one on 360. It was just fun. Next up, Scalebound was announced. It looks, I think, like an RPG. Kind of almost Final Fantasy-ish. Looks cool. It's due out in 2017. So there's that. Again, probably still making my Xbox controller. Sea of Thieves is basically take what was it, Assassin's Creed 4,
Yeah.
and just do all of the ship stuff. And there it showed like I couldn't even get through this. I had to like turn down my volume because there were these like 3 or 4 dudes like playing and yelling at each other. Oh, get on the raise the sails and this and that. And I'm like, nope, can't do this.
That sounds like
I
I'm
don't
gonna get
care.
stressed out.
I don't care for that shit at all.
I couldn't do it.
I would
It's-
buy it and be the person that doesn't follow the rules. It's like, raise the what?
Classic.
What did you say?
Raise the roof. Did you say?
Fucking dance emote.
It looks like it's very cartoony. It doesn't look like a game for me, but it's kind of
No.
like open world ship adventure, I guess. Pirates, pirates.
But wait, there's more. Zombies in State of Decay 2.
All right.
So big thing with State of Decay was like it's easier to survive like with friends or something like that with a group. The trailer kind of consisted of a car driving around like bashing zombies. You see like the passenger door open and like just nail a zombie on the way by, and they like drifted through a gas station, like just sideswiped a bunch of zombies that were just like walking through. Looked pretty cool. And then like three friends hopped out of the car and they saw a flare go off in the distance, and so they hopped in and like made for the flare. So another probably looking like an open world zombie game where team up, maybe with AI, maybe with friends as well. So cool. More zombies. State of Decay. Not familiar with the first, but this is the second. So And then Xbox closed out with Halo Wars. I think
The second one.
Oh no, they didn't close out with Halo Wars. Almost. Halo Wars 2 though. So Halo Wars, I believe, was an RTS.
Yep, and it wasn't. I don't know. It could have been made a lot better. I remember playing that on my Xbox 360, and I didn't necessarily enjoy it. It wasn't a game that I was like excited to play. You know, it was like, it's a Halo title, so.
Yeah. Well, this looks pretty cool. It's more Halo for Halo fans out there. So if you're into that, check out Halo Wars 2. And there is a week-long beta that is going on right now. So
Oh shoot!
hop into that if you're at all interested in Halo Wars.
Try it while you
go
can.
grab that. Go grab that beta. I did miss. There wasn't a trailer, I guess, for it. There's some gameplay, but Minecraft kind of announced some stuff. Let's see.
Oh, is it
Where's that
Minecraft
text?
Realms?
Yeah.
It's like cross every platform.
Yeah. So we get not only Minecraft Realms, but the Minecraft servers can communicate with any other devices. So if you play on PC, you can communicate with someone that plays on their phone, like on iOS,
That's really cool.
like iPad and things like that. So that is really cool because you can play with anyone no matter what they play on. They have Minecraft Realms, which is announced. And then they also they show Oculus playing Minecraft, which is pretty cool. Get fully immersed of that Minecraft world if you don't like round things. Also, new texture packs.
that was good. If you don't like round things, it took me a second. I was like, Minecraft.
You know, fully
Oh,
immerse
man.
yourself in the blockiness. They're coming out with new texture packs for Minecraft and also add-ons. So you can turn the zombies into aliens. They played in like this city,
Thank God, right?
like a city texture, where the zombies were aliens that had like buffs and like different like weapons like they could use, and then they modified the civilians to look like FBI agents, and they could
That's pretty
shoot,
cool.
and they actually had the will to fight.
Instead of be like little
instead of
bitches
just
all the
run
time.
away. Yeah. So they gave them courage to fight and things like that. And it was really cool. It looked like a city world and all this stuff. So not your normal Minecraft.
I think that would be really interesting.
So yeah, that was about in the middle. So I forgot I missed that. And then they closed. Big. Oh man. Oh, big thing for Xbox was they closed with talking about a new console that is in development.
Wow.
So everyone had been talking about PS4K, 4.5, PS Neo, whatever the heck you want to call it. And Xbox comes out of nowhere with mega console. It's like, oh, hey, you've been talking about that PS4? Yeah, we got something even better. So
I want to know what it is.
I
I don't know anything
it
about
is called Project Scorpio.
Nice. Too bad I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
He
I'm an Aries,
so 4K gaming and
It's not for me.
VR must be delivered. He reveals what they've been working on, a teaser for Xbox 1.5 or Project Scorpio. It'll ship next year. Some details. It's an 8-core processor. It has 6 teraflops of graphic capability. So to put into perspective, 6 teraflops, the Xbox One right now is currently pushing like 1.3
Wow.
Jeez.
graphic capabilities.
Shit.
The new 1080 NVIDIA cards that just came out for PCs, I think those are 6 or 8 teraflops. The Titan X I know is 7 teraflops, which is last generation's highest tier. But even the 1080 outperforms that with less flops. Now the 6 teraflops, it's going to be interesting to see because it kind of depends on the speed and also how efficient the CPU is as well. But that's some serious graphical power to be messing with. They've got 320 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth, so it can transfer a lot of data, which you're going to need if you're pushing a lot of pixels to the screen. They were saying these are it's not compressed pixels. Like they can run 60 frames, 1080 uncompressed, beautifully, which those we're so used to seeing compressed pixels, so even when a game looks beautiful, those pixels are not true full rendered pixels. So they said we are seeing the most beautiful pixels you've ever seen. I said pixels way too much in the last 2 sentences.
Should get up a pixel count on the.
It's gonna be strong enough to do 4K and VR gaming, which is huge because we know that PSVR requires its own standalone box to do all the processing and graphical power. So that's pretty big deal for Xbox there. Whether or not it's gonna be partnered with Oculus is yet to be seen, or if they are gonna do their own kind of thing. That's still kind of in the works and in the shadows. It is backward compatible and forward compatible. A big thing that they stressed at the very end was that all 3 consoles, so the Xbox One S, the Xbox One, and Scorpio, are going to work all the same. So all the same games, peripherals, controllers, things like that. Everything is new. They said here, no one will be left behind. So I think nice. That is very smart marketing, because that's a big hullabaloo that's been going around with PS. PlayStation and the Neo is like, oh well, what about how are games going to look on the PS4 if the Neo is going to look like this, and are there going to be some games that we can't play and things like that. And so I think it's really good that Microsoft, unlike their muddled announcements a couple of years ago with just the TV entertainment things like that, it's like they came out with games, amazing console, and marketed it so perfectly, was very clear, so that they don't have to go back on their words and be like, oh well, actually this is how it's gonna work and that's not what we meant before. So really hats off to Microsoft and their conference. I thought it was very, very solid. A lot of good stuff. Some stuff I'm excited about, some stuff I'm not, but Scorpio, really interesting, because Sony stated that they weren't going to be showing the Neo at E3 like days in advance, like out of nowhere. Like they didn't need to come out and say that. I think they caught wind of what Microsoft is doing, and
decided to like make a keynote on it.
Maybe they need to revisit the drawing board and say, this is not powerful enough. I know that's something Colin Moriarty from Kind of Funny was talking about. He's like, man, they're probably crapping their pants right now. Like, need to be like, okay, we need to put more power in this thing. That's not what we expected.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so Microsoft, I think, just surprised me, surprised everyone with that really, really impressive, just specs of the console that they're working on come next year. So, moving on, let's see. Monday afternoon, we had Ubisoft conference. So, a big thing. I don't want to take forever, like apparently Ubisoft did. A lot of things I heard is Ubisoft just dragged on and on and on. It was a 2-hour conference.
Wow.
2-hour conference. I would want that from like Sony or Microsoft, but Ubisoft, apparently it was just dragging. So real quick, going to go through there. One thing that looks really cool is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I did see that trailer.
Wildlands looks really cool.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Open world, basically, play with your friends. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon game. Kind of futuristic. A lot of different environments. So you got a snowy, you got a sand, you got a forest. A lot of just really cool things. So cool trailers there. They had a walkthrough. I didn't actually watch that. May look into that later. South Park, The Fractured But Whole. They're so witty. I freaking love South Park.
That looks pretty fun. I enjoyed that trailer.
Yeah, so that looks really fun. Kind of the superhero on instead of the Stick of Truth, where you're like medieval themed play. It's kind of a superhero type thing. So another just probably hilarious and just well made and just a great mechanic RPG in the South Park universe. Big thing with that is if it's pre-buy or pre-order. But I was looking on Steam, so I'm not sure how this works for consoles as well. But if you pre-buy, I guess on Steam, then you get the Stick of Truth for free.
Oh, that's not bad.
And if you buy the gold edition, or I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like the $90 version, you get a season pass as well. So apparently they're going to be coming out with more content even after the release, which is something they didn't do with Stick of Truth. So That's something to look into if you are a big fan of that and you want that season pass. Get all the goodies that comes out after launch. They talked about The Division, the new survival expansion that's coming out. So for the 7% of gamers that still play that, they said that
That's giving them some credit.
93% of the initial player base of Division no longer plays. So only 7% still play Division.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
That's
Glad I
so
didn't
bad.
get
I'm part of the 93%.
Same, yeah. I finally
Um,
deleted it the other day. I was like, you know what? No one else is playing this.
Damn.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's only
Oh,
fun
it
if
was
you play
very
with
fun.
people, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, maybe we'll see what happens there. So VR, Ubisoft talked a little bit about Star Trek Bridge Crew VR. I didn't watch that. It's Star Trek. It's VR. Cool. For Honor. Looks like it is okay. Trailer shown in the conference. A Viking fighting a samurai fighting a knight. Sign me up. Cool.
Okay.
So a lot of mixed combat.
1v1v1.
Interesting. I don't know if it's a story based or what's
Maybe
going on
they
there.
were fighting, and now they're a happy family.
So if any of you are familiar with Grown Home or Grow Home, it was a PlayStation Plus game last year, a little indie game. They
4 or
now
5
have
months ago?
Grow Up. So there's that. Also, the creators of Trials, like Trials Fusion and Blood Dragon, they made a baby and is Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Would you look at that?
So it's
right.
some Trials, the side motorcycle, but also it seemed like there's some like side-scrolling like shooting aspects as well, with just the flashy 80s style, just crazy over the top of the Blood Dragon, and also the crazy over the top world of Trials as well. So looks like a lot of fun.
Sorry.
Let's see here, Watch Dogs 2. Something that I want to be excited about
Yes.
because I think they're going to try to deliver everything that they couldn't deliver.
That's the thing, is that I think they learned a lot from the original. I saw this trailer and I went back and played it a little bit. I was like, I gotta play it. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
I really did.
I was really excited for that game. I think that game looked awesome in the concept, but then after it came out and reviews were just like, it just didn't deliver.
Mhm.
Half of the stuff that they showed in all the trailers and things like you just couldn't do. And it was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I really think that the second one's going to be a vast improvement from the first one. So they've had enough time. They got a lot of feedback on the first one, and you saw what happened with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. So excited about Watch Dogs 2. Do we get a launch date? I don't think so. Not one that I can see here in the text. And then they showed Steep, which is a snowboard, ski, and base jumping game.
Huh.
You would have me if it was VR.
That'd be
Yeah.
really fun.
Otherwise,
That'd be an easy selling point.
I'll just go play like 1080 on the N64. Like,
Yeah.
come on. So cool. I'm sure that'll be fun. I'm sure some people look into that. But yeah, if that were VR, oh man, that would be so cool.
That'd be
Base
really
jumping
fun.
in VR, amazing. Anyway, on to the Sony conference, which was the big one that obviously we cared about, being PlayStation fanboys. Cole and I actually got to watch this live, so that was pretty fun, getting to react and see a lot of things there. They showed a few things before the actual conference, some indie games. So Abzu was the first one, and just so I can get a refresher. Oh yeah, Abzu is a kind of a minimalistic art style. Kind of reminds me of Journey or Flower, kind of something like that. It is from Giant Squid and 505 Games. But it's this underwater, like this sea world, and you're swimming, and it looks like there's a lot of things to discover and unlock and just kind of just learn about this world that you're swimming in. Very reminiscent of Journey, so just underwater. The exact opposite of what Journey was. Then we had Bound, another indie title that looks really interesting. It's almost papercraftish. It's in partners with Sony Santa Monica. We know that they're doing a lot of partnered games, and Sony Santa Monica and who? Tell me, is it Plastic? I'm not sure. That font's hard to read, but it's almost papercrafty. Really interesting world where you're just kind of traversing, walking around, some mysterious figures, but really cool looking world. Interested in that universe, the story kind of behind all that. Seems very pretty, very dancer-like. The main character is very like ballet and like dance oriented, the way they walk and move throughout the world. So cool little pretty world to explore.
Yeah, really cool art style there.
And then we get Pyre, which is from Supergiant Games. Anyone that enjoyed Bastion and Transistor. Another game that looks a lot like him. Very like hand-drawn, like hand-painted world, with kind of that top-down, like three-quarter angle view. Pyre looks like you got a lot of like kind of faux religious type things in the story. So really just pretty game, and probably a cool little story too. From Supergiant. So those are three that they started off with. Oh, and one more I forgot. Hawken, which is a free-to-play mech multiplayer game. So if you can't wait for Titanfall, you can play that for free. So into the main show, one thing I thought was really cool about PlayStation was the concert hall, basically.
The freaking live orchestra playing in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Good choice.
Yeah, so instead of the traditional like E3 stage with just all the screens and like looking super futuristic and stuff, they actually held this in a concert hall with a live orchestra in the pit, and was amazing. They started with God of War.
God of War reboot, yeah.
God of War.
So cool.
No numbers, but it's new God of War. It is Norse mythology now, so getting away from the Greek things. Kratos is considerably aged. He looks to be probably in his maybe 40s or 50s.
I'd say pushing 60s.
See, I don't know, because I feel like just he is weathered more.
Yeah,
because his beard is very brown.
48 to
He's got some
55.
solid brown hair. Like doesn't look like he's graying. Maybe just a very worn 50s. But yeah, he's got a baller beard now.
Oh, yes.
And a sweet axe. Really cool gameplay shown there. So I know Cole's definitely excited for some more God of War.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna play it.
It looks like God of War.
It's a complete reboot. So it's gonna be really interesting seeing what they do, going away from kind of the cartoony feel of the other God of Wars and the chain and blade button masher.
Yeah. A lot of different play. We saw him like with some actually fist fighting, and then that axe, some cool kind of mechanics there. The fact that he can we saw him recall it basically, like Thor style.
Yeah.
So it was like Norse mythology, Thor axe. It like glowed blue with this cool. I'm like, there's something there.
It looks like a lot of fun.
And he had a son. That was a big part of
the
trailer or the gameplay that we saw. He had a kid, and they were out hunting. And he is a hard ass dad. Tell you what. Yes. Next up, they showed Days Gone, which is the new game from Sony Bend Studios. Days Gone. This is the zombie one I was talking about that I just don't care about. So they showed a trailer, and then they also actually showed gameplay to end out their conference. So we're just gonna jump to the end there. Not interested at all. I hate to say that, but just very much not. The trailer, I was like, oh, cool. It's The Last of Us, but with a biker guy.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I feel like is going to change it. I guess change my mind about it is what they do with the whole biker scene, I guess. Like if they make riding motorcycles in that game fun, then I could actually get in it.
Yeah. I want to play The Last of Us 2. I don't want to play Days Gone.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm not interested in. Some of you that do enjoy zombies and something a little bit different, that may be something that tickles your fancy. After that, they showed The Last Guardian, which has been hyped for forever,
Well, like 6 years now.
and it
Something
just
like that.
I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm same.
They show that there's another one of the dog bird things, and it comes out on October 25th of this year. Cool art style, I guess, but I was never really interested in that game to begin with. So
Yeah, I don't know what the hype is. I guess it's kind of just the setting as far as
I-
being a boy with a giant bird dog
Well,
companion.
I think it's because of the studio it comes from, being Team Ico, because of the games Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. There's a lot to live up to there. Shadow of the Colossus being a really, really highly acclaimed game from the PS2 era. I never played it. I didn't have a PS2, so that was before me. So I didn't have any hype for Last Guardian, and so I don't really care. And I feel like a lot of people that were excited about it are not as much so because of all the rigmarole behind it. But we did get a release date for that, October 25th. Next up, something I am excited for that looks really
my
cool.
gosh.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Very Tomb Raider-esque in a different, completely different universe.
I wouldn't even say that, to be perfectly honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
As far as the universe part?
Okay. Well,
I mean, machine
now that
animals.
I think about it, it is kind of Tomb Raider-esque, yeah.
Oh, that part. I mean, that's the feel that I got, with a bow staff.
Because it is, yeah. I mean, it is a little bit, not even just the fact that it's a bow, but it is that open. It's more open. I don't think it's.
It
well,
is
it
definitely
may not-
more open than Tomb Raider for
yeah,
sure.
because Tomb Raider is very much more linear story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the world, I think the aspects, and definitely fighting the enemies kind of felt a little bit that way. The way the dodge and kind of, you can't just face things one on one. You got to be a little bit more smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Looks absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, yes it does.
And the world itself is just so compelling. Like what even? Like they're
Yeah.
so like tribal and like prehistoric, but there's these super advanced not even cyborg, but just robot animals.
It's like
That's the best way to
opposite
put
of,
it.
like,
Robot
real life,
animals.
I
Yeah.
guess. 'Cause,
Like
like
what-
these dogs probably looking at us like, what the hell is he talking into right now?
Like
what
all of
is
these,
it?
like these are creatures. So these aren't necessarily like machines that do things. These are creatures in the world. And they like at one point she basically, for lack of a better word, she like hacked into this like horse type thing.
She
and
like
wrote it.
spliced.
Yeah, she like
Spliced
spliced
into
she
it.
like did something and like was able to like override the software of this animal and like hopped on it and was able to ride it. She just like pulled it out of the pack. Like there was a few of them. She just like snuck up on it and she like tethered it and then snuck up on it and then spliced into it and then was able to ride it somewhere. And she comes along bigger targets and these corruptors. We found something out there that's been corrupting these certain robotic animals.
I'd be interested to see, as far as we can see, how the extent that the humans use the technology is just to take down the technology.
Yeah, because like her bow is actually really high tech. Like the arrows and stuff. Like she has like
All the ammo that she
arrows
uses and stuff.
that can, I guess, send out like an EMP wave like that. She just hit it with the bow staff thing and it electrocuted it. She has like flaming arrows. Like it's really kind of high tech stuff, like the bow and stuff.
But you see the villages that they live in
It's
are
all just wooden and like
don't
they're
see
dressed
any-
with feathers and crap
Yeah.
like that, leather.
you don't see any like industrial buildings, machines, anything for their own like agricultural uses.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why a big thing I wonder about that world is like, where do these machine animals come from? Like, what is producing them, and how did they get to this point? Because it shows that there was like a civilization before this. But anyway, looks absolutely beautiful. Looks like a ton of fun. Open world role playing, a lot of crafting and things like that. Lots of just story to just figure out and unlock. So looks like it's going to be, I think PlayStation's next big franchise.
Yeah.
And that's coming in the spring. So we know it got delayed, and so it's coming out in the spring and not going to be the big fall game. So after Horizon, we got a look at Detroit.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So Detroit Become Human. We've seen the Kara, I guess, videos in the past. The Detroit trailer that we saw, I always assumed that it was going to be Kara based, because she was like the main character in those trailers. But we are introduced into this new character.
Looks like
I forgot his
his
name.
name Connor.
Connor, yes, thank you. And he is an android that apparently is working for humans. He is like a what's the word I'm looking for now?
He kind of gives off like the private investigator, detective type.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for.
Mercenary. Negotiator. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he arrives on the scene of the guy's holding another android is holding a human girl at the very top of a building, and so he's trying to get him to step off the ledge and things like that, and it shows a ton of different endings.
It's such a unique trailer as far as how they.
It's like they showed you the end of the game.
Yeah.
But like it's how do you get there and like all the choices. So very much like Heavy Rain, whereas you've got a million different ways to go, and like every little thing can affect that ending that we saw a lot of, and it's kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting, like showing the end, and it's like, oh, how do I get there?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting, from Quantic Dream. So I like their games a lot. Heavy Rain.
I feel like that has the potential to be a really, really powerful story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, David Cage is really, really great at telling those stories. So, then, oh man, this was actually in VR.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this looked so good. I didn't know what it was. That's another one of those games that was like, it looked really cool, and then they showed the title, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Do you want to tell the people what we're talking about?
We were talking about that one game, that came after Quantic Dream, and came before Farpoint. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is what we're talking about. We've heard rumors that they're going back to their horror roots, from like Resident Evil 4 kind of feels and earlier. 4? Yeah. 4.
Sure.
Because 5
you know better than I.
Res 5 they started to break away from. Res 5 was a totally different tone from that. Res 6 was an attempt to go back, but it still had the same feel and mechanics of 5, I guess. But they really nailed this trailer. It's very
really it was so creepy, so eerie, and very just because they've shown this trailer in the past under the name Kitchen.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you're just walking through this like house that looks like it's been abandoned for like ages.
Like all the windows are boarded up. You can see the.
Oh, this isn't the play. So this is the trailer. This isn't the playthrough that we actually saw during the conference. But yeah, in the playthrough, you just walk. You wake up and you found this videotape at one point, put it in the TV, and
you got lights flickering.
It just is all cobwebby and just weird, and oh yeah, it looks super creepy and super scary. Definitely something I'm not gonna play. But I also think it's not only VR; it's also for normal, so non-VR as well. So don't be discouraged if you are not going to be hopping on that VR train if you want to experience Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
That's the thing, is that I feel like from now on, or I guess from the very near future on, horror games that are going to be made are going to be made for VR as well, if not at least just dedicated to VR, because what better way to sell a horror game than to put you in the moment even more so.
Fully immersive.
110%
heart attack
immersion.
Make you crap your pants. Anyway.
Yeah, it looks super fun. I'm definitely going to pick it up.
So that's Resident Evil 7. They also kind of tied in at the end of that, the VR aspect. So October 13th is the date. They hadn't given us a date yet, I don't think.
They hadn't known.
So we just knew a month. It was going to be October. So October 13th is when PSVR will launch at $399 in the States, with 50 games available from launch till the end of the year.
50 games.
50 games in a 2.5 month period.
That's insane.
A lot of those, granted, going to be short experiences, things like that. But
I mean, that's expected with that little time.
oh
frame.
yeah, still there's so much to experience. The biggest thing with those experiences though is I hope they price them accordingly, because that will make or break that
Right.
VR experience for people that do, jump in day one. A really, really cool trailer I thought that they showed is a PSVR exclusive, and it's called Farpoint. Now this was really interesting because you are basically an astronaut and you are on this foreign planet, and they were kind of like, this place is not on any maps, and like they scanned as like this is unknown planet, unknown, out like rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, geological structures.
Yeah, and then like you saw these other creatures, and then like there's like, it seemed to be like you were getting attacked, like you were just like shooting at things, and I was like, what is going on? So that looked really cool, and just the immersiveness of VR in that cool, just really good looking world looked really nice. More VR that they showed is Battlefront X-Wing VR mission. So again, like I said earlier, tying in a lot of the IPs that we already know about and just adding VR aspects. So the VR mission, the X-Wing looked really cool. It's kind of like I said, Eve Valkyrie, Star Wars style.
Yeah.
So space
That's what I
fight.
got.
That I think flying, things like that is the best probably way to immerse VR to get started. You don't have to worry about the walking mechanics and things like that. It's where you look, you fly.
Yeah.
That simple. Then they teased a Batman Arkham VR, which it was just basically Mark Hamill as the Joker just speaking, and a lot of dark, and then you saw like the Batman mask, and that was about it.
That was in the title.
Very
screen.
disappointing, especially when it has a announced date of October. You're like, okay, it's coming, it's launching alongside the VR itself, and Farpoint gave us so much, and then you can't show us anything with Batman VR. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
I thought that was really weird. Then they showed Final Fantasy VR Experience, and I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't
that
see.
looked
I don't
so
see how you
dumb.
can do that.
I'm sorry. I thought that looked so stupid. I did not like it at all.
What was the premise of it?
It was just like, it showed like a fight, kind of,
Yeah.
but it didn't even look as good, like I think that of any other Final Fantasy stuff I've seen, and just, it was just really odd to get the grasp of what was going on. There's this chick, like a bikini top and like a jacket with her boobs hanging out, so there's that, because thank you Japan for being perverts. And you were just like riding in the car listening to like old Final Fantasy radio, apparently chilling with the chick. So there's that. If you like Japanese
Virtual dates.
animated boobs, get you some. Then the big one that blew me away.
The big red one.
Close.
Oh.
It's along the same lines. The front lines.
The
Call of Duty.
front space lines.
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Infinite
The
Warfare.
cool thing about this trailer was that you didn't know what it was until like Cole was like, I was like, is this a Call of Duty? And we're like, I don't know. And then you did the slide. You're like, yep, that's a Call of Duty slide.
Yeah. It looked so good. The gunfight started to unfold, and I was like, that looks like Call of Duty mechanics, but it also looks like just good gun mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, the fact that it's a huge step up from regular Call of Duty.
Mhm.
It's just Call of Duty revamped. I feel it's weird. You think they've done it all. They've done, Call of Duty in the future. There's literally nothing they can do. Well, they just
They took
blew
it to
that out of the
space.
water and took it to space, gave you a grappling hook.
It was so cool.
Oh my gosh, heat-seeking Semtex grenades. Oh my
Yeah.
god. It looks so... I might actually play Infinite Warfare.
Oh, I want Infinite Warfare, not only for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like redone, but for the actual campaign. That looks awesome. the everything. I mean, Zach,
Yeah.
you actually watched this.
Yeah,
What
it
did
looked
what
it
did
looked
you take
actually
away?
amazing. It looked really fun. I think the space mechanic of it and like I don't know, just a different feel than a
Mhm.
regular Call of Duty. I might actually play the campaign on this one. You
Yeah.
guys know how I feel about Call of Duty campaigns.
This is one I'll play the campaign.
I might
and
check it out.
Probably not the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
I'll play the older multiplayer. That's more my speed.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, most
I'll
definitely.
enjoy that. But
Yeah, so that looked amazing. I was super excited about Infinite Warfare. I was like, wow, Call of Duty actually got me really excited
you brought it back
again. So go figure. And then they saved the Bandicoot. That old
from
cooter's back.
extinction.
Wait, what?
Coot.
I say saved him from extinction.
Yeah. So Crash, they announced. Oh man, it was so great because Cole and I we were watching the kind of funny stream of the PlayStation conference, and Tim Geddes lost his mind.
He lost it. Oh my
He
gosh.
lost it when Crash was announced. When Crash came out, they played the music, and the stage was all Crash. And as I forgot his name, but one of the higher ups of PlayStation was walking on the stage. It had the Crash like shadow, like on the
Walking
stage,
next to
kind of
him.
like behind him. It looked really cool. Yeah, he lost his crap. So they announced Crash 1, 2, and 3 are being remastered from the ground up for PS4. And also, they're putting Crash and Skylanders. So, joining Spyro to go die there.
Did you die there?
And also a Skylanders update where you can create basically your own Skylander thing. So, I don't know how that's going to work, but it looked cool if you're 10. Then, Andrew House introduced Hideo Kojima, and he came out on stage, and of course, just uproarious applause, standing O from everyone, going nuts. I think he entered. He's like, "I'm back."
Yeah, he's like, I'm back.
Yeah, and just people lost it. It was pretty great. Showed, I guess, a trailer of his game running and in real time. I think in engine as well. Norman Reedus, as you might know, he was working with Kojima for the was it Silent Hills
The
game?
Silent Hill game, yeah.
Which you actually got the PT
Mm-hmm.
was what that was, is for the Silent Hills. No Guillermo del Toro labeled on this trailer, so it doesn't necessarily look to be like a horror type game, so might have gone off and done something a little bit different, but still working with Norman Reedus, as you can definitely see from the character model, and it's very weird.
It is
Oh
super,
my God,
like, you don't know
so
what's going
effing
on.
Weird.
It's, I
I'll
mean,
let
it's Hideo
Zach get a little
Kojima.
taste of it.
Yeah.
But basically, it was like you're on this wet, like, beach, and you see, like, these dead crabs and stuff like that laying all around. And
Carcasses everywhere.
Yeah.
Whales.
Then you come up on Norman Reedus, and he is just naked. And at one point, he's like, it looks like a synthetic umbilical cord kind of thing is like connected to this baby, and he picks up this baby, and he like holds it to him, and then it like just disappears.
He's like breaking down, and
And he's got like this like one handcuff, it looks like futuristic looking kind of handcuff. And then yeah, he's like just getting all emotional. He's like, "Oh yes, the baby." And then nothingness, and then his hands are just black. He's got like handprints all over him, and he was like just dirty. It's so weird. I don't get it. And then he stands up. No dick shots, unfortunately. And he looks across, and then all you see is just this wasteland where you see like whales and tons of fish, and just like the ocean just like dried up.
there's like, what, 5 floating figures in the air?
Yeah, like there's these
It's like-
5 things up in the air. I was like, what is
And they
this?
slowly like fade away.
Yeah,
to
really,
cut out.
really weird trailer from Kojima, but you know, what do you expect?
Well, I mean,
And it is called Death Stranding. Not to be confused with standing, but with an R, Stranding. So, don't expect to see anything else from Kojima for quite a while, but the big thing. A lot of rumors out there on the internet recently, and it is real. The Spider-Man
Spider-Man PS4
is coming to PS4.
Oh my
folks.
gosh, looks
And
so fun.
it is an exclusive, and it is being created by Insomniac, not
Sucker Punch.
Not Sucker Punch,
Yeah.
which everyone thought that Sucker Punch would be doing because they do open world superhero games.
Yeah.
But Insomniac has taken on Spider-Man, and it looked rad. Looked
Oh, it
real
looks so fun.
cool.
I'm so hyped for this. I played the original ones on PS2. They were so much fun.
Yeah.
Such fun games. I'm so excited for this.
I've always wanted to play a good Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, and I think getting to play this open world game, the world looks so cool. It looks really good, and like the Spider-Man looks really fun as well. Like a kind of a classic type, like a new take on the classic suit. It's the
He's
you
got,
know,
like-
the bright red and the nice royal blue, but also some white.
Yeah, he's
in
got
there
some
as
white.
well, which I know is kind of the classic Spider-Man. They've kind of been cutting out a lot of the white just to make a more darker Spider-Man in the movies and things like that. But man, this looks good. A lot of the physics, just the web slinging, and like I'm so excited to see what the mechanics of all this is, and like using it and grabbing things and swinging them and hitting
Oh my
enemies.
gosh.
Looks so cool. Like how much of this is going to be like
Doable.
like quick action,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and how much is going to be like I can mechanically look up there and say, hey, I want to swing around that, grab that thing on the way down, and like how is that going to work?
Like, yeah,
'Cause
like
the trailer showed off a lot of awesome stuff. It's
Mhm.
like, how much can I actually do?
That
Yeah.
looks pretty cool.
And then, like I said earlier, they did close off the conference with a demo of Days Gone, that zombie game that I don't care about because zombies. Yeah, but Spider-Man, Cole, it was so funny because we were chilling on the couch, and Hazel, my cat, was like came up to chill with Cole, and then Spider-Man came on, and Cole got real excited, and Hazel just was
Hazel
like, nope.
wasn't having that.
She noped out of his lap real quick. Real excited about that Spider-Man. So
That looks
I
pretty
was,
cool.
I mean, God, Microsoft had a great press conference, and I think the only thing that would trump Sony's in the fact of Microsoft's is Scorpio.
Scorpio,
Just
yeah.
the surprise of that, because PS Neo was leaked and it's been talked about for weeks now, and the fact that Scorpio came out of nowhere and is like the most powerful,
Yeah.
powerful, like, oh my god. So yeah, PlayStation has got some work to do. But yeah, nonetheless, a lot of great stuff, I think, from Sony. Even the small little indie games that they started with, God of War. I mean, definitely Horizon next spring is going to be so great. So much to look forward to.
Solid, just a solid lineup.
So much money I don't have to spend. But
That's
last but
exactly
not
how I feel.
least, technically Nintendo did not have an E3 conference, but they did a little Treehouse event, which is cute because Nintendo Treehouse, that's why no one can take them seriously. We have our
Join
conferences
the Nintendo Treehouse.
in a big grand concert hall. Nintendo has their conference in a treehouse. Anyway, Zach, I know this is stuff that you're really excited about. Why don't you take us through?
Oh yeah. The Zelda Breath of the Wild, it actually looks pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm wanting to buy the Wii U to play it, but I'm also not wanting to buy a discontinued console. It's kind of it's catch-22 for sure on that one. I don't know. The
It looks
trailer
super pretty though.
Yeah,
You
it's
should just rent
beautiful.
a Wii U from Family Video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah, you can
You
rent
can rent
consoles.
consoles?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, I
shit.
didn't know you could rent consoles from there.
Well,
there you go.
at least you could whenever I went there.
Oh, I might have
Wow.
to check that out because that would be a nice little way to get to play this without dropping $400 on a Like
on one
Buy
game.
the game, rent the
on a brick.
console.
Yeah.
But
On a
yeah,
brick.
I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be something I could really get into.
Yeah, cool thing I think about this is it is open world.
Yeah,
So it's no longer like the very regimented
like a very
You have to do
it
this,
is a
then you
really
have to do
linear
this,
storyline.
and before you can do that, you have to go over here and do this thing.
It's like you can go to the boss within the first opening moments, is what they were
Mhm.
saying. And then if you don't want to do that, you can go do all of the side quests and open
Yeah.
up everything else. And
Yeah.
really, I don't know. It takes you in a deeper world of Zelda instead of just like there's 4 places you're going to get into as many things as you can.
Yeah, so here's some details just to kind of to bullet through. Open world from the very start. There are some areas that will be inaccessible until certain item is acquired. So some unlock type things, which makes sense. Why else? There is a stamina meter for Link. So while full stamina, Link can climb, swim, and run. Otherwise, if your stamina is down, probably from exploring the world, you cannot reach a point until you probably make camp and rest and eat, something like that. There's dynamic weather, so wind spreads fire, lightning strikes metal, and rain puts fire out. So
that's pretty cool.
I saw in the trailer like Link was like setting some brush on fire, probably for some reason, I would assume.
He's
arson. He's just an arsonist.
Temperature actually plays a role in the game with that dynamic weather. So like it can actually damage Link if it's too cold. He needs to stop and build a fire, or gather and make some better clothing, which I think is really interesting.
I think that is
a super in depth now, like role playing game. Like you gotta.
It's like a survival role playing game.
That's really really interesting.
Has a main quest to it.
There will be NPCs in the game. They weren't in the demo, so don't be alarmed by that if you watch it. The area explored in the demo, which was pretty good looking area, was only 2% of the full game.
Wow.
So I think something really cool is the map is not full of any markers. So it doesn't have like waypoints and like, hey, you have to go do this quest or you have to come over here and look at this.
Just like going
find
through.
This.
You're like,
it's like if you find a place that you can't access yet, you can put a marker so that you can go back to that place later on.
Wow.
It doesn't actually tell you, hey, you must accomplish this, and this.
Or you discovered this place.
You just discover whatever you want, you want.
That's awesome.
I like that a lot.
Kind of like we were talking about earlier, gathering and cooking is a massive feature in the game. You won't find any hearts in the world. So you got to like acquire, I guess, food and cook food. And
are there pots?
Probably. I saw him cooking in like a big skillet type looking thing.
I think he means like breakable pots.
Maybe.
There's got to be.
And hunting animals. Pots. There's different animals out at different times of the day. So you got to hunt, get meat, cook it up, get your skins probably, make good clothing. So really it's kind of way like modern take on a Link like adventure.
Right.
Just the open world aspect of it.
Be a really exciting thing to see.
Cool bonus if you're a big Amiibo fan.
Got a little Wolf Link amiibo that is not a playable character, but an AI that'll follow you around, do your bidding. Just a little cute little guy to come hang out with while you go through your adventure.
Yeah, so if you actually bought the Wolf Link amiibo from Twilight Princess, you can throw that into the new Breath of Wild, and he will hunt and do all that stuff. Looks really cool inside the game. So I thought that was pretty cool, being able to use the things of the past and bring that into a new game.
Oh yeah.
Of course, new amiibos for Breath of Wild, and then new amiibos for everything else. So you get a Wario, a Waluigi, Daisy, Rosalina, the little ghost, a Donkey Kong, and a Diddy Kong. So looks like fun. I forgot what those ghosts are called.
Boo.
Yep. And then obviously some new Pokemon stuff.
Yep.
Show me your Pokemans for Sun and Moon. I didn't watch any of that. Zach, you might be interested.
Yeah. I've got the a small pre-order payment paid for the new ones coming out.
Nice.
It won't be until the fall, unfortunately, but at any rate, check them out. I haven't not played a Pokemon game so far, so why stop now?
They also talked about Paper Mario Color Splash. So a new Paper Mario looks like you got some different objectives, I guess, in the world with colors and painting and.
Never been a huge
like
Paper
that.
Mario fan. I never got into it. It was, like as a kid, it was just too difficult for me to like grasp.
It was a much more advanced Mario game
than anything else. Yeah.
I think it felt like there was like
it was
some,
more
like,
of like
role-playing
Final Fantasy
aspects to
meets
like a tactics type game.
Tactics and like you got to pick your partners correctly, or else you're not going to be able to win certain battles. So
Yeah, I remember watching my older cousins play Paper Mario, and I just nothing that I could get into. So
I think if I was like 4 or 5 years older while playing it, I would have enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
at the time, it just wasn't for me.
So definitely the biggest thing from Nintendo is Zelda Breath
Yep.
of the Wild.
No doubt.
Looks amazing.
Zelda and Pokemon.
And
really.
we have yet to know anything about the NX. We know it's a thing. What it is, no idea.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for more of that. So that was our E3 recap. And that was long.
That was
There was a lot.
a ride.
There's a lot that happened. There's
Yeah.
a lot to
Call
look
it
forward
Ubisoft
to.
too, right?
Holy crap! Nice.
Thanks.
A lot of good stuff. So hope you all enjoyed us talking about that and what we were excited for, what we weren't excited for, all the new stuff. If you have an Xbox One, I'm sorry, sell it, go build a PC. You won't regret it. If you have a PlayStation 4, you thought about buying an Xbox One, go build a PC. You won't regret it. But big highlights for me, I think, is Scorpio. I can't stop thinking and talking about how Microsoft just blew us away with that announcement and the power that they are put like advertising that's going to be behind it. And also the fact that everything on Xbox One is going to be playable in Windows 10. I love it. And then obviously PlayStation Horizon's big for me. I really want to get excited about a big open world game like that. I usually stray away from like the Fallouts and the things like that, but I want to get sucked into the world of Horizon, especially if that's going to be a franchise moving forward.
One thing we didn't hear about was No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me, honestly.
Yeah.
It's coming. It got delayed. We know it's fine. I don't want to beat a dead horse at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it because that's just going to get people riled up again. It's like because they've shown it like at every E3. It's like I'm super excited. Don't let me sound like I'm not looking forward to No Man's Sky, but it's like we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like just let them be. We will be excited for it when it's coming out.
Right.
So I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I know that like Colin feels that same way, and I definitely feel the same. I don't need to know any more about No Man's Sky. I don't want to watch any more trailers. I don't want to learn anything more about the universe or the NPC, anything like that. I am just excited to play that game when I have it in my hands.
Yeah. They definitely met their quota for setting expectations on people, and they're like, well, that's as much as we need to advertise this game.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of great stuff. A lot to look forward to in the next year plus.
Oh man.
2016, 2017.
It's a good year to be a gamer.
Jeez, it's always a good year to be a gamer.
Always.
It's a bad year to be a poor gamer.
Yeah.
Always.
That.
Yeah, it's always a bad year to be a
So-
pro gamer.
In closing, we are a game called Life. GCL podcast, 3 best friends sitting around this table every other week. Made an exception for you this week for E3. We talk about games, we talk about life. This was our E3 2016 recap. I've been one of your hosts, Josh Berkeley, the man on my left. Used to not be funny, but now he is, and he is a producing pro. He puts the pro and producer. I might change it up. I like that.
I like
Cole,
that too.
okay.
He's Cole Penrice. And the man on my right, he is the infamous and, of course, the unforgettable Zach Bittman. We thank you all for watching. Give us a follow right here on twitch.tv/GameCalledLife so you can see our bi-weekly podcast and you can see our Let's Plays in between those weeks. When we're not here, we're on Twitter at GCL Podcast is a place to go to find out when we're streaming, what we're streaming, where we're streaming it at, Let's Plays, podcasts, things like that. Stay up to date with all we do there. Also follow our personal Twitters. You can see that right below us here. Don't forget GCLpodcast.com is where you can go and listen to every single episode of the podcast dating all the way back to about 2 years ago to 1.5. Besides that, if you're on the go, where you might be listening to this is on iTunes and on Stitcher. Just remember to search GCL Podcast. You can also sometimes find us over on YouTube, GCL Podcast. And don't forget to follow all of our other Twitch pages, Jinx_B, ForteWin2, and Pip-Boy Supreme, so you know when we're streaming, playing games, and doing other fun things like that out there on the internet. If you follow us on Twitter, then that is the best place to go to see everything. So we love you guys. We thank you. Join us again next week for episode 76 of Game Called Life podcast. Until then, peace.
Later.